and welcome to Dirt Sheet Mania. I am, as always, your Chief of Wrestling, Craig Anderson, and alongside the Director of Creativity he creates so I can procrastinate, Kieran Smith. Hi, Kieran.
I do a lot of procrastinating.
You do.
Which it doesn't really reflect in the title, but I do.
This is our week in review.
Yes,
this is our second episode of the newly revamped Dirt Sheet Mania.
Yes, it is.
And last week, I really enjoyed it. I thought it flowed much better.
Flowed very well. What did you think?
Yeah, please tell us.
Yeah.
So far, the only comment we had was about Kieran's hair. So thanks for that, Mitch. Appreciate the feedback.
Yeah.
I didn't even realise, so you can't exactly shoot.
Well, no, it's literally as I started editing, and I said, Craig, what the hell's going on with my hair?
It was just like this peacock.
Why did you not tell me?
I honestly, because I'm tiny.
Rubbish wingman. That's probably why I didn't have a girlfriend for a million years.
I always had girlfriends.
Yeah, because your hair was all right, and obviously mine wasn't.
I looked like Tintin for the best part of 8 years. Yeah. I got girlfriends.
Or Louis Walsh. I might have to dig that side-by-side comparison out from our Revo days.
No, not Louis Walsh. Who did you look like? You didn't.
No one ever said.
No.
Ben Stiller, apparently someone said once. I was like, you what?
Right, I think on that note,
Ben Stiller.
So
there's better looking Jews out there.
Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman. Nah, Ben Stiller's better.
Of course, if you're new to us, hello, welcome to Dirt Sheet Mania. We will be talking about Raw, SmackDown, and today in our little end bit in our general chat sort of segment of the show, we were talking about NXT. Is it now the best hour of wrestling again on television? Because for a while it was, then it dipped, and now it's back again. And we will also be talking about the 2K19 career mode, which has just completely turned mine and Kieran's opinions about buying the game on its head. But we're going to start. We're going to do three main topics of Raw, 5 minutes each. Then we're going to do 1 minute blasts, and then on SmackDown of all the other topics, and then we're going to do 5 minute topics on SmackDown for 3 of them, and then 1 minute on each quick fire topic after that.
I love a 1 minute blast, Craig.
Giggity giggity. So let's start with Monday Night Raw, and we start on the Shield. Is Dean Ambrose unappreciated? Straight up, first question, yes or no? Is he unappreciated in this
I think
Shield?
Yes, in terms of the fact that he doesn't have a title, and it looks weird when they're in the ring with the title, which was showed this week.
It was, and it was clear when Seth and Roman lifted their titles up that Dean was kind of just behind them, and there was a few occasions, I don't know if you guys spotted this at home as well, when the Dogs of War came out and they were on the stage saying, Dean, come and join us. Have it 4-on-2 at Super Showdown in Melbourne, which is, as of recording, 6 days away.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll talk about, again, a little bit on that actually later as well in our general chat segment of the show. And Dean was like, no, basically.
Would have popped if Dean just lifted a leather belt up, his leather belt on his trousers. But
I'm also expecting a potential... Well, okay, we can talk about it in a second, but what I also want to ask you, later on in the show, we had a segment and a situation where Seth was up to Drew, asking Drew, when Dolph needed you, you helped Dolph keep that Intercontinental title for ages. Are you not unappreciated?
Yeah.
You should come join the Shield. So who's more underappreciated, Dean or Drew? If either.
It's almost like the Dogs of War, are, so to speak, the Shield from when they first started. Like, who was going to be the breakout star of the Shield? And we all thought it was going to be Dean Ambrose. Seth Rollins was always going to be the one that sort of fell to the wayside, but if you look at things...
I thought Dean was originally... When you looked at the Shield originally, I thought Dean's going to be the guy that's going to go heel.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. And that just didn't happen. Still hasn't really.
Yeah, but the right choice was made at the end of the day with Seth turning heel on that. But you could almost say that Drew McIntyre is the one that may sort of come out of this, out of the whole 6 of them. Drew McIntyre should be the one that comes out of this looking all amazing and a future WWE champion, definitely.
Yeah, future WWE champion. He looks incredible.
He does.
And he looks like he belongs in the main event.
He does. There
was 3 main segments connected to this piece. You had a moment where it was in the ring, and you had obviously the Dogs of War trying to convince Dean. Backstage, you had Drew and Seth almost kind of trying to recruit Drew a little bit, not directly, but just saying, you want to talk about Dean being unappreciated? He's not. He's appreciated. Come to the Shield. Well, not come to the Shield, but are you appreciated? Are you...
I don't think the Shield will ever have another person there. I mean, obviously, we joke about Kurt Angle being in it, and Triple H was in it for a little house show,
which is still quite weird. Yeah. Also, then you had a moment when you had Drew and Dean backstage, and instead of it just being, which I was like, where this is going, where that's going, Drew angled it to the where he was like, well, Seth just tried to recruit me to replace you. I'm sure he said that. Very strange.
What I like the fact that they were just having this little inter-team sort of talk and things like that. And I like the fact that they tried addressing these little things here and there, plant little seeds, because everyone knows the Shield split up because of Seth. Will Seth do it again? They could have maybe planted that seed.
Could you imagine?
I don't know. I don't see them splitting up yet. I think it's too soon, because I think
here's
they
what
want to get all the merch paid out and everything like that before now.
If Dean never got injured, if Roman never got injured,
he was ill, wasn't he?
He was very ill when they had that match at Survivor Series.
No, it was the one before Survivor. No, was it after? No, it was
five on TLC.
Yeah,
5-on-3.
Yeah.
If they had never been injured or poorly, I think we may already be looking at that winding down stage.
Yeah.
But we're in a different spot now, so they're going to have to revamp it. Yeah. One question, yes or no, straight up, you can ask me as well. Will anybody turn from one team to the other?
A Super Showdown?
No, just in the whenever this storyline comes to pass.
Yeah.
You think someone will?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know who.
I don't. I think this is complete. Keep you interested.
I'd love it to be Roman and just completely swerve the hell out of us. I don't know if it made sense. A lot of things on Raw haven't made sense.
I'd love it to be Drew.
Yeah,
I'd love it to be Drew. I actually
turning babyface.
Yeah, because I do think you look at him.
I don't like saying babyface, because I'd like him because it doesn't suit a babyface in my eyes. But
Resident good, anti-hero.
Yeah,
or is that too overused at the moment?
I think that's too overused at the moment.
So all of these points really that we're going to talk about for Raw are all connected in some way or another. We will revisit the Shield in a minute, literally in 5 minutes time. What I want to do now is I want to move on to the tag team championship situation. And I want to talk about the Revival finally getting a tag team title shot against Drew and Dolph.
Yeah. So was it 3-4 weeks ago they were prevented from getting their title match against the B team?
Yes.
When Dolph and Drew attacked them backstage, and then they went on to win the tag team titles.
So this is like their opportunity.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So obviously we know in NXT the Revival were amazing. They had great matches against American Alpha, against what other teams did they have good matches against?
Enzo and Cass,
DIY.
I
don't think they had Enzo and Cass. I mean, but they might have done actually.
The Mighty.
Yeah,
it would have been. It would have been called the Mighty then, would they? They'd have been called
TM61.
TM61.
So they had great matches. And we all knew what they can do. Ever since they got called up to Raw, they haven't looked like half the team.
But they've been injured.
They have been.
One
injured.
had a jaw. One had a knee.
It was like
I
the
think
first week or two, it derailed them.
Your Amazon package has been shipped, by the way,
sweet.
and it's get here tomorrow.
Do you want to know what it is?
I want to know what it is now.
I'll tell you later.
What is it?
It's my package.
It's just it's his package.
My package has been delivered. So
thanks, Amazon.
That's cheers.
I can't ignore that.
No, you can't. No, I'll give you some ratings later. My review.
5 stars. But the Revival.
But the Revival. They're a great team, and they're a great tag team. They put on great matches in NXT, and they've obviously because of injuries and that, but they started to come back, but now they put on this great match on Raw. Stupidly great match.
The thing I really like is that if Scott Dawson wrestled as a singles wrestler, or if Dash Wilder wrestled as a singles wrestler, they necessarily might not get the opportunities. But because they are the Revival, because they are as tight as they are, they do more double team moves than most tag teams. And I mean, as little as just we'll throw you in the corner and we're going to beat you down. They work as honestly. Those two, they could be twins.
The thing is, it's not just the Revival. The tag team wrestling is on its way back. It's not as on the forefront as obviously the Women's Evolution. The Dusty Rhodes Classic Tag Team Classic doesn't get as much love as the Mae Young Classic and even the Cruiserweight Classic.
Sometimes with that Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, people that aren't even teams, like Finn and Joe, who won it.
And it's only an 8-man tournament. I'd love. I've said before, and I don't know if I've said it live on the camera. What about making the Dusty Rhodes into a trios? this would be perfect for,
right now
for the Shield, for the Dogs of War.
Well, I think you open it up to intergender trios as well.
Yeah, you could.
Why not?
You could, yeah. But look, the revival the revival showed everyone on the main rosters what they can do, and hopefully this gives Vince and creative go, well, do you know what? We've actually got ourselves a good tag team here. Let's do something with them.
NXT, we've seen a lot of individual stars and tag team stars come from NXT and go to the main roster, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Like, it just, I mean,
the Ascension.
Tyler Breeze took forever to get something that they liked him to do. Sami Zayn kind of has, kind of hasn't. Some it has worked. Kevin Owens it worked for. Samoa Joe it worked for.
Shinsuke to a degree, you could say.
You get a title. You won the Royal Rumble and you get a title match at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
it probably is.
I forgot he won the Rumble. You forget he's not really had anything since that. But
you're right. Well, apart from the United States title, but.
Well, you got a WWE title match at WrestleMania.
He got more than one WWE title match. The amount of times I guessed Nakamura would win a WWE title, he didn't.
Exactly.
It cost me like 5 points.
So
it looks like the Revival are changing that corner. Another team, as we move on to our next point, our third point for Raw, it looks like that they are also changing and getting now more of an opportunity in a main event spot, is the AOP. Quickly, it looks like they've dropped the Authors of Pain, and they are now called AOP.
So basically, they've had the Adrian Neville and the Antonio Cesaro and the Alexander Rusev effect, just with a team name.
Is Bobby Lashley just called Lashley now?
Well, he probably will be.
Just give it time.
I mean, Bobby's a bit of a weird name, I think. But
there's two Bobbies on
Maybe
Raw.
that's what they need to do. But that's the thing. There are a lot. There's
Rude and Lashley,
Drew McIntyre and Drew Gulak.
Two Drews.
But there's not many Johns. There's only a John Cena. I mean, there's,
Johnny Gargano. That's a Johnny.
He's a Johnny. He's a Johnny. There's a difference.
It's on your t-shirt.
Yeah. Well, I can't see my t-shirt. You couldn't see my hair last week.
This is more in my eyeline, though.
Oh, good. Stop looking at my boobs. Right?
Boobies. I'm sorry. Natural defunct reaction. AOP were the surprise tag team partners of Baron Corbin. Now, Baron Corbin he welcomed back the commissioner of Monday Night Raw, Stephanie McMahon. It was her birthday. Is she Mrs. Helmsley or Ms. McMahon? Or
I think she's Mrs. McMahon Helmsley. Technically, that's her real name.
Her real name is McMahon. McMahon Levent.
Levent.
But
obviously,
kayfabe, it's McMahon Helmsley.
I think it's just McMahon.
It is just McMahon. On television, it's just McMahon.
Yeah, it's just McMahon.
She's back. It's her birthday. Happy birthday, Stephanie. She was not happy, and it's interesting because at one point in the show, Stephanie and Triple H went out to the ring and did a fantastic charity-based event for Connor's Cure.
Very, very moving.
Which is very moving.
It's a bit weird when then she goes into heel mode after.
Right. But, now, that's what I want to mean. Like, what they're doing there is superb, and I like that, and that there's so many brilliant positive things that they can that they've been doing from that, and I love that. I love everything from Connor's Cure. I love the children having like their own wrestling personas.
I've still got my Connor's Cure bracelet from like 3 years ago.
There you go. See, that's what I mean. Like that's a great thing. It's odd when Triple H is wrestling the Undertaker next week, who's doing like heel promos.
Yeah.
And then you've got Stephanie, who got cheered on some Raw a little bit because she was in Corbin's face. Yeah. So they did this promo.
See, but this thing. So this was just out by the limo, wasn't it? And
it was.
So I would have loved if they said, so you put yourself in the main event last week against Roman Reigns
for the Universal title.
Which
Kurt would never have done.
No. But because it was the lowest rated main event segment for ever. I think it was. I think that's what
ever.
I think ever.
Well, since '93,
possibly.
Jesus,
but it was something to do with the lowest rating. It was something to do with lowest rating.
People saw Corbin in the main event and went, no.
Why? I would too. I mean,
for us.
I think he could be a great talent. And I think he's doing very well as a constable.
Constable.
Right. But I don't think he warrants a Universal title match. Even creative.
But that's a great way of getting heat.
It is. But
not if anyone's not watching, though.
Stephanie could have gone, we were in the lowest rated main event segment of Raw in Raw's history.
Like break kayfabe a little bit.
And then she could have gone, well, that could lead to Kurt Angle coming back sooner rather than later.
So you wind in the truth with the reality.
Well, and so the Authors of Pain, obviously, in this main event.
They were his surprise tag team partners. Stephanie said, "Go and get 2 partners. You're wrestling the Shield."
I was trying to sit there and think who it could be because obviously I was going, it's going to be Drew and thing. No, they had a tag team title match.
They did, and AOP come out with Drake Maverick.
Yeah.
And they looked quite at home.
Yeah.
In this main event,
yeah.
Do you think multi-man matches are a great way of protecting people like the AOP?
That's why main event matches are mostly always multi-man matches, aren't they? So tag team matches, mostly it's always a tag team match.
On television or pay-per-views?
On TV.
Yeah, pay-per-views are singles matches. Often.
On TV, it's always mostly tag matches.
Mm-hmm.
But it was look, it was good to see. The Authors of Pain in NXT they were dominant. And that's what they should have been on the main roster. We said a couple of weeks ago that they were part of the heel people taking down the Shield, and they looked very weak when the Shield punched them in the face.
Especially the fact that Drake Maverick has been saying we're going to get those tag team titles.
Yeah,
but not directly. But he said that's the goal. That's the main goal.
So if you can't beat the tag team champions to get a tag team title shot, you beat the Shield, right? And that should give you
a lot of cred doing that.
You know. So, look, I like the fact that Drake's with him. It's a bit of it's still a little bit of a weird mismatch, but I like.
It's odd that he's dressed in their gear.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I like.
He's a talker.
Exactly.
He's
that's what AOP are. One's Albanian, right? I think.
Yes.
Turkish.
Yes.
So,
although I actually thought they were legitimately brothers.
Yeah, they really do look like brothers.
It's quite scary.
You know, but then again, if you didn't know that Edge and Christian weren't brothers, you could have said they were brothers back in the day. So,
we were led to believe they were.
Exactly. So
and Bubba Ray and Devon, they're definitely brothers.
Oh yeah, definitely. But look, it was great to see them in the main event. It was good to see them give an opportunity. They had a great little main event match. Mm-hmm. Build on it. That's all I want to see. I just want to see build on it. Don't just throw them to the wayside, because they can be a dominant tag team, an absolute dominant. Could be the dominating tag team in both divisions. Mm-hmm. You know, on the main roster. So that's
singles and tags.
No, in both tag team divisions.
Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah.
Very well put. Yeah. Right now, ready for our quick fire 1 minute round. There are 4 topics. 5 topics, big pardon. We've got 5 now.
Well, let's talk about the main one.
Okay, ready? So we're out on the top of there. Ready? Okay, so Brie Knox lived that F out.
She did.
Oopsie.
Yeah, it was a bit of a whoopsie moment. But
hey, you don't. If you make mistakes, you learn. You don't. If you can't be perfect the entire time. Learn from your mistakes.
No, look. So Brie mentioned when she done a tope suicida a couple of weeks ago that she was suffering from ring rust. Mm-hmm. This potentially could have been ring rust, but when you're getting into those yes kicks, I can see why you may. I don't think she meant it on purpose, but sometimes
no. I mean,
a lot of people were blaming Brie for this.
No. It's unfortunately like she got into it, and you know the adrenaline's pumping. Jeez, it happens, man. It happens.
Well, of course it does.
You know, okay, Liv, and I thought
Liv was flinging herself and selling it well.
She was the first few. I thought, Christ, her head's going back. This is brilliant. But then I think just something happened with the timing.
She got in too much of a rhythm, and I think she expected the next kick to maybe come
accidents happen, things go down.
Maybe because Brie has that.
I tell you what, though,
she was slowing down. Quickly, and that's why that kick hit her.
Sarah Logan and Ruby Riott. Incredible, because they almost certainly one of them would have definitely had to cover one of those spots, because all 3 of them would have been involved in the finish, and they did really well, and they won the match.
Liv went to carry on as well, which is the weird.
Well, I think she tried to get up on the apron, and she got pushed down by Sarah Logan.
Yeah, exactly.
Next up, we've got Kevin Owens show with Jinder, Leo Rush, who is within 3 weeks becoming quite a predominant little character on Monday Night Raw.
I think a lot of people will having Leo Rush on Raw, being a talker for Lashley, is a great thing, because they might just tune into 205 Live or 205 taped. Yeah.
Also, that this is leading into mainly the Super Showdown match that will involve Bobby Lashley teaming with John Cena against Kevin Owens and Jinder Mahal next week at Super Showdown. This is the plug for that, really. And then Bobby wrestled Jinder.
They haven't plugged John Cena in this at all.
No.
Why would
the only time he was mentioned was Kevin Owens saying, "Well, I beat him on my debut."
Yeah,
that was it.
Why would you not talk John Cena? He's your biggest star still.
Priorities. Who's there? Who's not there?
There's been talk of John Cena's retirement lately, which
he said he's never going to go back to a full-time career. Yeah. So as that is, we also want to talk about Gabe and versus Connor.
You mean Gable?
Gable versus
Gabe. My name's Gabe Gable.
Gabe Gable, man. I used to be tagging with that Jason Jordan fella.
Gabe Gable, Jason Jordan.
Gable would have been Gable versus Connor. Still coming out to Bobby Roode's music, and
I still love it when he pops up. That's glorious.
But since they first teamed, and like for some reason Bobby's still behind him going, yeah, that's really cool, like that's my thing, and you're just butchering it. It's
still waiting for that moment that Bobby Roode just turns on him.
He's gonna kill him
and just absolutely decimate him, and then you just got
when he does it, and he will do it. I don't doubt he won't. He will do it, and he'll turn him heel. And like I said, in NXT when he was champion, he was the best heel. Chad
Gable has the potential to be a great little champion in the future because his
Daniel Bryan-esque.
Yeah, I think so. Not to Daniel Bryan's level. I think that's a bit too much, but I think he's there's something potentially there.
Nia versus Alicia Fox.
Sweet, cool. Move on.
It's Nia's return.
Yeah, I think. Not Nia's.
Where does she go now?
Yeah, where does she go now? Who does she have at Evolution?
Fox is in the mixed match challenge, so she's got something to do with Jinder. That's quite. What's it? Well, what's their tag name? Alicia and Jinder's.
It's something to do with the Maharaja bit, isn't it?
Maharaja.
Something, yeah, but look, so,
it sounds catchy.
Look, there's a lot of things up in the air with Evolution, obviously, because there are legends returning for matches. I assume there'll probably be some sort of battle royal on the show, maybe for someone to win.
Maybe. You know? And lastly, Triple H with a small comment as he was leaving. Him and Stephanie were leaving the arena. Small comment to the Undertaker about just who he is facing next Saturday in Melbourne, Australia. Yeah. Keeping that one just ticking over.
Talking about Taker's retirement, and I thought it was perfect because people are thinking. We've been thinking about Taker's retirement for 5 years now.
Yeah, easily.
And will this lead into Taker retirement
even before the streak was broken? We were thinking the dead man was going to retire.
I think they dropped that retirement word in. I think Taker will retire at this Mania. Will he face Michaels potentially? Will he face Triple H potentially?
Michaels Taker.
Will he face Cena potentially?
Will he face Kane?
Kane's not good enough.
Yeah, but Kane Taker. That's
not for his last.
That's a big story. You look back on the history of Kane and the Undertaker. And the way that Kane debuted through the cell and all the way through. I'd be cool with that. I'd be so cool with that.
I think there's better matches for him to do.
And it'd be the fourth time he'd wrestle Kane at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That was Monday Night Raw, guys. All within 21 and a half minutes, pretty much, including their intro. So that's pretty good. Pretty good timing. A few bits overran there, but that's why
fine.
That's why we have this. That's why we have this.
We're not rambling on, which is stuff that we suffered from before.
Very much so, like a disease.
Yeah,
ramble disease.
Let's do a 3-hour show because wrestling is wrestling, and more wrestling's good. Let's talk about more wrestling,
and we will do with SmackDown Live
next Saturday. 5 hours of talking with Craig and Kieran,
midday till 5
when Super Showdown's on.
Yeah, live stream. AJ Styles and Samoa Joe contract signing SmackDown. You think, okay, contract signing, tables are going over, people are going to get beaten up, the security are going to, everyone out, come on, let's get everybody out, let's rip them apart. I
love this whole segment.
Yes.
There's one thing I will complain about is that AJ Styles seems a little bit jovial. Like, I'm not being. Samoa Joe's been going at your family for the last. I'd want to punch.
In a jokey way?
Yeah, when he was in the ring, he just said, "Come on down, come on, let's bring him down, come on." It seemed a little bit too.
Do you think he was luring him into a full sense though?
Maybe.
AJ Styles is extremely. He's a tactician.
Yeah, I just seemed it seemed a little bit jovial. I'm not. That's the only thing I can complain. I'm not. That didn't shit on the segment at all. But it just seemed. Take away for a little bit.
I text you when we saw this with. Samoa Joe, also because Joe didn't actually show up. Has he signed the contract?
Yeah.
This is for Super Showdown.
This is for Super Showdown.
Is it signed? Is he there?
Yeah. Well, of course he is. Paige will just email it.
Docked it for him.
Yeah.
And Samoa Joe ended up at AJ Styles' house. I was like, I'm here to see your wife. AJ's house. In Nashville.
They just found someone called Styles in Nashville, wherever they were.
And when. I know it's not supposed to be funny because it's not funny.
No.
A man that you're wrestling is showing up at your house with your wife and your kid. He's got 3 kids, but obviously the oldest, I think, or the youngest is involved in this story.
4 kids now, is it? I think 4 kids, yeah.
But when Joe goes, "Oh, Wendy,"
it's so funny.
I absolutely crack up.
Yeah.
I really, really want a T-shirt with "Oh, Wendy."
Yeah, it's out next week, mate. It's already probably ordered in shop.com already.
And on the back, it's got Samoa Joe, WWE champion.
Yeah. This whole segment was amazing.
It reminded you of WCW. That's what I want to talk to you about.
Look, the segment didn't remind me of WCW. The segment reminded me of the like Stone Cold, like the Randy Orton Triple H. You know, it's just home invasion, so to speak.
But the end of
it, and
cliffhanger.
Yeah, the cliffhanger, and this is what Nitro done very much during
specifically
the
Nitro.
Very much during
NWO.
the early days of the NWO.
Mm-hmm. Is black and white, or red and purple, or silver and green? Or
stop talking about Nitro in a bad way, all right? Okay, the 96 to 98 Nitro was brilliant. Please watch it. I've told you a million times. Just watch them all in a row. You'll love it.
Watch Nitro from 95?
96.
96. Okay.
3
hours. 3 hours.
Yeah, it gets to 3 hours. Right. So let's talk about Samoa Joe. Stop interrupting me. Right. So the ending, the cliffhanger, where they just ended it off basically Joe about to go through the door, and I was like, oh, that's perfect. Because you're sitting there thinking, oh, where do I go to watch more? Oh, is it on YouTube? Is it? Are they going to do a live thing on the network?
Nope.
But that's what's good about it. I want to see what happens next week. I want to see if there's video next week of what happened.
You've nearly hit the nail on the head with what you just said. Then the thing with wrestling and general anything that's an entertainment, but we use wrestling obviously. Leave them wanting more.
Exactly.
The worst.
Who wants more now?
The only time I want to see more.
Exactly.
The only time you should feel genuinely satisfied is in the final piece of a story, which is a WrestleMania, a Survivor Series, SummerSlam, Rumble,
the blow off,
the big payoff of the rivalry of the feud. When that comes for this, we don't know. But right now, I want to see, and maybe we'll find out Saturday at Super Showdown. I think we might see another video of them.
Yeah,
who knows?
When Sting was trying to get his hands on Hulk Hogan for a year and a half, it always ended with Sting just about to get Hogan,
and then Hogan will get away.
Cut it off.
Wow.
Did he touch him? Don't know. The only people in the live crowd knew.
Wow.
And then there'd obviously be some. No, but it was just like, oh, but I want to see it next week. That's what. So you tune back in.
That's what
this is what this should be, and this hopefully next week they can follow up with the same, like maybe some cliffhanger ending. I don't know how to do it, but I want to see that. I want to see. I want to watch SmackDown every week. I want to watch Raw every week. You need to give me a reason to watch it.
You talk about you wanted to see next week. I want to see next week, as well as this, for something else as well. Rusev Day is no more. We've mourned the process of Aiden English and Rusev breaking up. But this week it's taken a very different turn, very different twist. Rusev and Lana in the ring. They were calling him out, basically. They wanted answers. Rusev wanted answers to know why. Like, why did Aiden English do what he did? Was he jealous? Was he bitter? Did he want to beat some sense into him?
Did he want to touch Lana's babies?
Did he want to touch Lana's legs? You know? Did he almost think if English came out and said, look, I'm sorry, I got completely off my nut, I'm really, really sorry, can we get over this? I have a feeling Rusev might have been extending the olive branch in that direction. No. English come out in a English Day t-shirt. Or
Happy English Day.
Yes. Happy English Day. Like,
Happy Aiden Day.
Is it Aiden Day? Happy Aiden Day. And an Aiden Day kind of thing around the microphone as well, which I thought was little touches, really important little touches. And he accused Lana of basically being the downfall to Rusev Day and to Rusev in general. It's why he didn't win the United States title the first time he had a shot a few weeks ago. It's the reason that the boys didn't win the tag team titles. He's blaming Lana. Ever since Lana came on the scene, Rusev Day started sliding down the card, sliding into the losers column. And then he dropped something which I definitely wasn't expecting him to do, and I have no idea where this is going, but I want to see. He said that last time we were in Milwaukee, Lana came to my hotel room. What happened, Kieran?
Did he say that?
In my head he did.
That's what he. I think that's what he.
That's what I've been. Yeah.
So basically, he said, he goes, what happened? Basically, what happened in Milwaukee?
Milwaukee.
Yeah, and everyone's going Milwaukee.
It was a big Milwaukee chant. I don't know where they were on SmackDown.
No, they definitely weren't in Milwaukee.
No, but you know.
But yeah, so we're going to find out next week. Apparently,
but then backstage, Rusev's going, I can't even remember when we was in Milwaukee last. And then he's looking at Lana going, what happened? Lana's like, I don't know. And is she lying?
Well, that's the thing. Well, if she obviously we know she's acting, but
will Lana turn on Rusev and join English?
Yeah.
Like, come on!
It's a potential.
We don't know. We don't know. There's been weirder things to happen on wrestling.
Like Lana with Dolph Ziggler.
And Dolph Ziggler has like some sort of denim jacket. God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, right. And Summer Rae was with Rusev.
Oh my God! Yeah, can we get on with this? Yeah, no.
Right? I like the fact that they're putting like juice into this feud.
It's definitely not gone in the direction, because I thought, maybe it still might happen, is that English gets a female talent and they become a tag team against them two, which I think would be.
We talked about that last week.
Yeah,
as well,
I still think that will happen at some point.
Yeah,
but this is an interesting development.
of course it is. Of course it is. I mean, again, I want to see what happen. See what this video is next week, or this proof of what's going.
I've just had a little kind of a brainwave. Back in again, I'll use the 90s as an example. Certain managers would have talent that they'd be with. So, for example, Trish Stratus used to be with TNA and Val Venus. Okay, she's a prime example. I'll explain why in a second. Val Venus did his own thing. He was Intercontinental Champion, and TNA were going after tag titles. They were never kind of tagging. They weren't really over interchanging. She was with them, and then she was with him at the same time on the same pay-per-view. So you often saw her twice. Is it out of complete ridiculousness to think Selena Vega could have English as part of her talent pool and tag with English against them, and also be with?
I don't think it's ridiculous. I mean,
because I think she's a great position to do that.
Is Lana in a feud with any women on SmackDown?
She had a match with Becky.
Yeah.
Okay, because they got into chinwaggies backstage, which I liked that. Again, very 90s-esque. Had a bit of a beef backstage. Screw it, we'll have a match tonight. Happen on NXT with Gargano, with Ciampa and with Dozovic. We'll talk about that later. But similar thing. That doesn't happen anymore. Yeah. When can you remember that last happening? Two random wrestlers having a bit of a. Do you know what? I've had enough tonight.
Yeah. No, there's something that's going to happen from this. It's keeping Rusev in on TV. It's keeping English on TV. My worry, as I said last week, is that English may end up falling down the wayside in this.
That was my main concern.
Usually in this situation, it's usually the weaker member of the tag team. Usually falls the Janetti, so to speak.
The one that has They always use that adjective.
So it's good. I like that. This keeps the feud going. Again, it makes me want to see what's going to happen on SmackDown. I don't see the full truth being revealed on SmackDown because I want to probably move it on.
The video won't. It'll be suggestive.
Well, I think it's proof. He didn't say it's a video. It's proof. They could say, I have a video, and here's the video, and they start to play it. Something happens. Lana stops it from playing, or something, or Rusev just gets overawed and just wants to punch English in the face. The proof will not be entirely shown next week.
No. So I guess we've already kind of got our heads around that.
Yeah. We're assuming that Lana's cheating on Rusev, and I think that's what everyone's assuming. They might just throw us a curveball and say that, Lana's done something something else.
Could you, I mean, have we even floated the idea that maybe Rusev comes round to the conclusion that actually, English, you're right, Lana is a pain. Like, sod off, woman. We were doing pretty well, and they go from being a babyface tag team to a heel tag team. They were kind of an in between one.
But why would you want to do that with potentially one of your biggest selling merch person and your probably most popular?
Well, they've already with the tag team.
Well, so you can still have Rusev Day
as a heel team.
Just Rusev.
We'll see.
That's originally what it was. Aiden English was just a guy that talked about it.
He sung about it.
Yeah, because he wasn't part of the tag team.
But things on the origin of Rusev Day, he was there to sing, and that was all he was. Because what's his name? Simon Gott's just been fired.
Yeah.
So it was like, what do we do with English?
Yeah, exactly.
It's come a long way, and there's still legs on this. Rusev Day are gone, but the mystery of Milwaukee. It's going to be t-shirts, isn't there? What happened in one night in Milwaukee?
Yeah.
The last point I really want to talk about for SmackDown before we go into our quick fire round was Charlotte. She was having a photo shoot, and Becky decides to jump her, and the way she ran in from the side and pushed her towards those
lockers,
I think is probably a good. Was quite hard.
Yeah.
She's done
it multiple times into lockers. I think she was sitting there trying to work out what else she could throw her into. But I like this. I really liked it because it was different. I've not seen sort of like posing for photos.
I mean, what I'd have liked a little bit more is if she'd have slightly threatened the photographer.
Yeah,
because I think
she sort of did in the way like, take my picture.
Okay.
I suppose it was threatening. Maybe not threatening enough.
But I would have liked to have seen that. Like, Becky, I don't want to push the boundary too hard because obviously it's a PG show.
So the difference, Randy Orton is threatening because he's Randy Orton.
He's holding people's necks.
Yeah. Becky has a different effect on that. To me, Becky doesn't seem as threatening at the moment. She could potentially change her character into that way.
Very different characters.
I wouldn't say she's threatened enough to get him to take the photos because obviously the photos are on Facebook and stuff, and you can see the photos of it being taken of her dismantling Charlotte.
Yeah,
but I'm saying I loved it because it was different. I've not seen anything like this before.
No, me neither.
And You got to appreciate them trying to do stuff that are different.
They're thinking of every possible angle. I think what can we do that Raw isn't doing and that we haven't seen enough on this mainstream TV, and that was one of them. We're going into Evolution, the only women's pay-per-view of all time.
Yeah.
And at the moment, you've got marquee matches. You've got Alexa Bliss versus Trish Stratus.
Yeah. Mickey James versus Lita.
Yeah. You know, you've got
the Riot Squad versus Ronda and the Bellas.
No, that's not happening.
That's it's one of the two.
That's Super Showdown. Yeah. So you've got these big matches. You've got rumoured Nikki and Ronda. So at the moment, these are, you know, okay, some of them might be heel faces, but it's mainly cold feuds, but more marquee matches, okay, to celebrate the evolution of women's wrestling.
Yeah.
Charlotte versus Becky seems quite certain at this point to be a match on this card. Yeah. In some capacity.
In some capacity, yeah.
I kind of think it might be a gimmick match.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mean like
Steel cage.
Something on a frigging pole, but cage, I quit, street fight, something along those lines.
I Quit would be good.
I Quit would be super good. But you know what? I'd love an Iron Woman match. That'd be pretty freaking sweet. But I think this feud is exactly what this pay-per-view needs. This could be the match that people leave going, yeah, okay, there was Trish, there was Lita, there's all these legends, they celebrated women's evolution, a bit like they did in the Rumble last year, the Women's Rumble.
The Women's Royal Rumble, I mean, I don't want to say it was disappointing, but it was there to celebrate the past as well as the future, and the past and the present. The next Royal Rumble will be the one where it is literally present and the future.
Getting a little bit more serious, You'll have your special returns, like the you know, like with the men, they have Diesel come in, they have Mysterio come in, they have legends from the past, just, you know, Sergeant Slaughter, or, you know, which is nice, you know, it's cool. I like seeing that, and that shouldn't be different. Women should be similar.
Renee Young will enter this year's Women's Royal Rumble.
That'd be pretty sweet, wouldn't it? Well, if Michael Cole can get in a Royal Rumble, then why can't Renee Young be in a Women's Royal Rumble?
Dirty Deeds DDT on someone.
That place would go.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it?
But this, like, talking super seriously for a second, I think this feud is exactly what this pay-per-view needs, and this is what's going to make me, I mean, I'm interested in the show, but this makes me...
we're both going to watch it, right?
Absolutely, you know, there's no question about it. I'm not going to miss it. I want to see it. Some people are completely slaying it on social media, and to them is, look, give it a chance first. Like, don't kill it before it's even been born.
Yeah, it's a month away. Yeah,
exactly. Like,
to build matches.
Exactly. Like,
but right now, this is the feud that Evolution needs. This is
the feud,
because it's a feud. All the other are just sort of put together matches so far.
It's fantasy booking.
Yeah, fantasy booking.
But this is
an actual feud that means something.
It's an exactly. It's an ongoing. It's a current feud. Even the Nikki and Ronda, if they do end up wrestling each other, one of them might have turned, one of them might be into the other one by then, like wanting to be at the other one, but it's not going to be nowhere near the level that the Charlotte Becky one is, because it would have been going on for since SummerSlam?
Yeah.
What's that, like 4 weeks ago? 5 weeks ago?
A bit longer than that, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's had so much time to build and to breathe and to appreciate what's happened. And you've also had, since WrestleMania, you've had Becky winning, and getting screwed by Charlotte. And you've had this entire build probably since WrestleMania, in the character development, not the story, but the character. Hence why Becky's getting cheered.
This right now should technically main event Evolution, but
it won't. It'll be Nikki versus Ronda, or even Trish versus Alexa. You don't know?
I think Trish Alexa does it.
You think?
Yeah.
You've changed your mind.
Well, but
you said Ronda Nikki the other week.
Yeah, but because Ronda the name. But I just think Trish, in terms of what Evolution is, why would you not want? From being
a model, which so was Alexa. They're very similar backgrounds, actually. Both were managers. Both became. Honestly, they are carbon copies.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to. We'll obviously preview Evolution when it comes to where that. But
right, so yeah, that's the women's segment done. Also, the SmackDown live segment done. Quick fire round, ready? 1 minute each. We're gonna go at 38-30. Ready? Ty versus Nakamura. US title match, looked like Ty was going to win, and then Randy Orton pops out of nowhere, and murders Ty Dillinger, and almost this weird feud between Nakamura and Randy still exists. What is this weird friendship, beating people up?
It's almost one-upmanship, but not one-upmanship. It's like, but are they linked? Are they together? But it always seems to be Shinsuke's opponent that Randy wants something of.
Whoever, I think there's a bigger picture coming.
Yeah.
A SmackDown takeover, Nakamura and Randy Orton. Look, you were underappreciated, Nakamura. I've been underappreciated for 15 years. He can pull that card, can't he? Let's be together. Let's ruin SmackDown. Let's make it our show. That would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think I would be. I mean, I love this Hill Randy character. Has been amazing. It's good to see Shinsuke actually defend his title on SmackDown. And it's good to see Ty Dillinger on SmackDown as well, because Ty is a very popular person.
Very popular, very talented, not used enough. Yeah. Truth TV with Carmella and Daniel Bryan.
This was amazing. I've never.
Wait a minute, we got 30 seconds of dancing.
I hate dancing stuff on wrestling, but this was quite good.
Did you not like Too Cool as a child?
Yeah, it was. I mean, the first couple of times, isn't it? But after a while, like in the Rumble, it was funny.
2000 Rumble.
Yeah,
okay.
But
so as a whole, this the main
R-Truth has been amazing since
he's 50 years old.
Is he 50?
He's 50 years old.
Legit 50.
He looks incredible.
He does.
Absolutely world class.
But he's been amazing. His comedy has been amazing. And they look like they're transitioning Carmella to a face as well.
Her and Truth look super comfortable together. Yeah. I think Truth's experience will help Carmella a ton. Yeah. So much experience to be passed on to her as well.
Still have to get used to Carmella's new hair colour.
Suits her.
But if she is turning into a baby face, the point with a clear night and day change.
I like that. It's a massive change. I like that. Big thing here though. Miz beats R-Truth to regain Miz TV because apparently R-Truth took it over. Yeah. I liked when Miz went through the curtain and Paige went. Yeah, nah.
They do that more and more, and I still think they need to do it more. It's one of those things that they need to do something more.
I really liked that. We also have. It also plugged the mixed match challenge as well. Asuka, Miz versus Truth, and Carmella as well. So that was again sort of plugging the mixed match challenge, which we'll see after SmackDown as well. Big E versus Sheamus. The Say Something Nice challenge, which is basically the premise of, let's be nice to each other.
Be a star.
It was it was almost like taking the mickey out of their own thing. Yeah. I don't know. It was funny, but not for very long.
The New Day and the Bar don't really need to sell the fact that they have a match. Just say it's New Day versus the Bar. New Day versus the Usos would be the same.
Please wrestle. It was a singles match. Sheamus versus Big E. Sheamus wins in this exchange. Yeah. I know you don't like it, but I really want a Bar football top.
I hate it.
You hate it. Yeah. I think it looked. Could you make them on FIFA? That'd be so good. Up, down, down T-shirt as well. That'd be good.
Unfortunately, Americans don't like FIFA, so
it's on.
Yeah, but it's
up, down,
yeah,
down.
But that's Rusev, who's Bulgarian. It's Apollo Crews, who's from Ghana, was he from originally or something?
Yes,
Gambia or something like that.
Ghana.
And they're all like people that play in Football Nations. All the Americans don't have a bloody clue.
No, Neville, when he was in, Neville used to play a lot as well. And finally, very very briefly, Asuka and Naomi versus Sonya and Mandy. Sonya and Mandy, again, they're a slightly rookie-ish tag team in the aspect of just they've not been there very long.
Yeah.
But they look great together.
Yeah, they do.
Like, I'd love to say, right, we need a women's tag team. Just to kind of, instead of giving it to the Bellas, give it to these two, then let them run with it, build them up again.
Obviously, the Iconics were on commentary for this.
Yes.
So there seems to be 3 tag teams, women's tag teams there on SmackDown.
Asuka and Naomi seem to be a bit of a synergy at the moment.
So
big argument for women's tag teams.
I think it will happen at some point.
Evolution,
potentially, but then it needs to be on both shows.
It's be on all shows, NXT as well.
If they can do that on NXT, it'd be good.
Has to be cross-platform
because you're going to assume that Evolution is going to be a yearly pay-per-view. So have that.
I'd like it to be.
So
I'd like it to be.
That could work.
Okay, great. So that is our Raw and SmackDown review. So we are now going to dive into our general chat. So we've got about 15 minutes of general chin-waggings. Let's start. Do you know what? Let's start with 2K19.
Okay.
I said to you, probably on this podcast as well, and many times, WhatsApp, etc., Twitter, that I wasn't, unfortunately, for the first time since probably SmackDown 2, when I started to get into wrestling gaming, I wasn't going to buy 2K19 because I didn't play 2K18 that much. I didn't play 2K17 that much, to be fair. And I didn't want to waste 50 quid on a game that I just wasn't going to play so much. And there was like a couple of exceptions. One, if they'd have brought in a really decent career mode with indie wrestling. I even said indie wrestling and all that stuff, so you can work your way up the ranks. And the second one, I know you said like up, down, down do is have a GM mode, which would be sweet. And then guess what happened? And tell everyone the trailer that we saw.
So before I get into the trailer,
yes,
I wasn't going to buy it this year.
Oh, you weren't either?
No. Last year's version was abysmal, running around backstage, basically
awful.
Rinse and repeat.
Awful.
Now, it was very stagnated.
You got up so quickly though.
Yeah,
you rised up through the ranks too fast.
Yeah, it was just. So 2K games, they make NBA 2K games, and the career modes.
Saw that trailer, looks sweet as.
The career modes in that are very good. It's very story driven.
Also, let us know if you agree or disagree with this, because like we should do a special actually, a Raw Ramble on video gaming, because we both played them for a long time.
Yeah. So
NBA.
2K, great story driven career mode. Now I wanted WWE 2K games to have the same thing, and it seems like this year they have. So the trailer's dropped, and they're talking about. And I've seen the first hour or so of this on YouTube.
I watched about 5-10 minutes, but I was like, nope, I actually might buy this. I don't want it to be spoiled.
So it starts on the Indies, and you go to NXT. And
what was that company called?
BCW, I think. So it's they have what's his name? Oh, the Baron Blade is the owner of this BCW.
Wasn't he in the last game?
He was he's been in the last 4. 2K games as a wrestler, and then
he's the guy that you end up facing a lot on NXT. Like he's your main rival.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So he's like an Easter egg sort of thing. It's just a pop Back to the Future. But so I sat there this year and I was like, nah, I can't get it. It's going to be a waste of time. 50 quid's a lot of money these days.
Some more things to be buying with £50.
Yeah, exactly.
And
so I wasn't going to get it, and then the trailer dropped, and I was like, "Oh, do you know what?
Bugger."
Yeah, and I said, to me, it was like saying a decent career mode would have maybe go, yeah, I'll get it, and also GM mode because I've enjoyed the battle of the brands on up down.
But GM modes,
so it's
not on though, is it?
No, it's not. No. Unfortunately, not. Next year, I think it will be because they obviously see the popularity of it on up down.
Maybe we should. I'm going to wait. I'm not buying it straight away.
That's what I'm going to end up doing. I'm not. They'll let you into a secret. It's going to get cheaper after 2 or 3 weeks. So
really?
You might as well just get
you sure? As in Sainsbury's selling it for £20, like 3 or 4 weeks after it was sold?
Yeah. I don't think I think it didn't sell much last year, but I'll get it. It might be even like a cheeky Christmas present or something for someone, you know. So I think that'll work.
Maybe when it comes out, because I would happily do this. Wait for it to come out. We go halves. You play it. Then I'll play it, and then we'll do.
Why would I want to share anything with you?
We always share.
We don't.
We don't. We eat way too much to share. Yeah. So 2K19, it will be bought, but it won't be bought. As
roster stacked,
hotly anticipated.
Roster stacked. There's a few weird wrestlers that are not in it though.
The UK lads being in it is super cool. Who's not in it? You want
so UK lads. Trent Seven's not in it, which you would have thought.
So weird. The Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne are both in it.
Which should be right. I agree, but why would you not add Trent Seven?
So weird.
Tommaso Ciampa's not in it. Your current NXT champion is not in the game.
He was injured.
Nikki Storm's not in it. Nikki Cross.
Nikki Cross.
Not in it. There's
really?
Yeah. There's a few. There's someone else is missing there. There's quite big. There's a few weird, but. And they're not even in the DLC. Everyone's thinking, oh, that's right, they'll be in the DLC. They're not in the DLC.
So Ciampa's not in the game?
But this makes me think, is this something to do with the career mode? Because they're being very, very quiet about...
Unlockables.
Yes, but they're being very quiet about why they're not in it. They're not saying... Alistair Black is in it. But they're being very quiet about why they're not...
on the indies.
Potentially, maybe. It might be something to do with... This is why... They're talking about it and they're being quiet about it. So maybe they're not saying, well, he's not in it because he was injured, or he's not in it because we couldn't get him in the game because we didn't have time to scan him into the game or whatever.
Because Roddy, I've seen the thing. I don't think Roddy's part of the Undisputed Era, because you've got obviously Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, who are the default tag team. Adam Cole is your sort of single star in that team. Roddy's been with that team for about 6 months now, maybe longer.
There's a cut-off point with certain things. Like,
was it WrestleMania weekend he joined?
Yes, I think it was.
So we are going back, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So it's 6 months ago he joined Undisputed Era. But yeah, it gets to like January, February time, and that's the cut-off. Of course, Ciampa wasn't around then. Nikki Cross and the Sanity guys had kind of split up a little bit, but she is still kind of a member of Sanity. I think she'll be part of them again.
Yeah, it's very weird, but I think they'll.
But she was on Raw when Evolution got announced.
Yeah,
that was
weird.
She was on the stage. I know, that was kind of odd. But then she never went back to Raw SmackDown. Let's talk about Super Showdown next Saturday before we talk about NXT. So Super Showdown will be live in the United Kingdom at midday.
This is what we're led to believe from the intern.
Jamie, Jamie's found this out.
Time difference is always confusing. So, but
we thought it was 10 and 11.
This is 5 Eastern in America.
Oh, don't. Yeah, so you're converting it from from Australian time to American time, then back to English time.
Yeah, was it 5?
Just convert it from
I can't remember what, but it might be midday. I don't know. If
look,
it's midday,
if it's midday, it's midday. I won't be able to watch it.
It's during the day, Craig. Basically,
yes.
It's going to be early in the morning or during the day.
I won't be able to watch it live. I don't finish work on the Saturday till 1, and then I'm going to go and watch my beloved Wycombe Wanderers play because that's what we do, and I have a season ticket. I can then come home. I'm going to have a social media ban, so I won't be on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, and then I will get in after the football and I will watch Super Showdown. I might not be able to watch it all in one go because the missus might not be overly amused with our Saturday night viewing if I'm there watching wrestling for 5 hours.
She can watch Ant and Dec's Saturday night takeaway whenever she likes. she can watch it on demand.
We watch Strictly. You watch Strictly?
I used to like watching
Strictly. It's not bad, actually.
Yeah.
Like,
I prefer Strictly over X Factor.
It's not bad.
So,
100%. Goes without saying. So, I remember, what was the one we watched on...
It was
Friday.
Rumble, yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Like, it started at 5.
Yeah, 5 o'clock on a Friday.
I had work, but finished at 5. Came to you, but 6-ish. That was okay.
That show dragged, though, because it was a Royal Rumble.
It was
50 people in
and
it.
It was not a good Rumble.
No, it wasn't.
Very poor. Last thing I want
Except for Titus O'Neil. God. But yeah, so me, if it is at midday... I'd have to check it because somebody's maybe questioning it isn't a midday.
When it comes to this kind of thing, Jamie's actually often right.
Yeah.
We don't give him the credit he deserves sometimes, but...
It's on Saturday and I start work at 2 o'clock. So I'm either going to have to start work at before 12 and start watching it and then carry on watching it at work because Kieran doesn't work properly when things are on TV.
If I did that when I was at work, Craig would be like, "You're going to teach the kids anymore?" I'm like, "Nah, just watching the wrestling."
Yeah. So if it's on till 12 till 5 during the day here, it's all right.
On a Saturday?
Yeah, it's not too bad. But
it's not.
It's a long show. Again, I might have to end up social media blackout and watch it.
I think the only sort of communication thing will be in is the WhatsApp on the Dirty Mania WhatsApp. Jam will probably be able to watch it live, I assume.
Yeah.
So if he gives us spoilers, we'll slap him.
We probably spoil a lot of things for him, though. Anyway,
we
do.
I think. Do you know this is really bad? I forget he's in that chat sometimes.
Yeah.
And last but not least, NXT. NXT used to be incredible with Nakamura, with Kevin Owens, with Finn Balor, with Samoa Joe, with Bobby Roode.
It was around the time when Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Neville, Hideo Itami. Around that time when everyone was around, that NXT was amazing. Like they had so much talent on the show.
Off the top of my head, I when I was planning the show, I wrote a few names down. So we've got EC3, Velveteen Dream, Ricochet, Aleister Black, Undisputed Era, Ciampa, Johnny Wrestling, Lars Sullivan. The women, Shayna Baszler, Kairi Sane, Nikki Cross, Bianca Belair. Tags, you've got Street Profits, Honey Machinery, The Mighty. I think you get my point.
You're not even talking about NXT UK talent there as well.
Pete, oh my God. Yeah. Pete Dunne, Moustache Mountain, Kaylee Ray. Yeah. The list goes on and on. Tony Storm, you know.
So the brand split. The new brand split basically took away some of NXT's talent and they seem to suffer. Asuka obviously stayed on NXT because Triple H even said
she did. They had to keep her.
Had to keep her.
So
So from this point, they've basically been rebuilding the talent. They're always going to have talent coming through there because they always sign people and things like that. But right now, the talent pool they have, the shows that they're putting on are tremendous.
But they're in the right feuds as well.
Yeah.
So you got Lars with EC3 a little bit now. Dream, who won at the last pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Dream is floating a little, but he's in that area where he's like, I demand title matches, I demand matches. Obviously, Pete Dunne is Pete Dunne. Him and Ricochet, Undisputed Era, it's kind of all crisscross. I don't think I even spoke about War Machine. Yeah, not War Machine. Are they War Machine now?
War Raiders.
Yeah. Excuse me. I don't think you even mentioned them then. So that obviously they are in line for a title shot, and they are getting their tag team title shot in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, they are.
And Pete Dunne, is it a triple threat match, isn't he? 2 weeks' time, it'd be Adam Cole, Ricochet, and Pete Dunne. But it's going to be for the North American title, so Pete's title is safe.
Yeah.
And then you've got the tag teams the week after, so they're staggered.
Yeah.
Will we? You know, do you think Undisputed Era will come out of that shiny, or
I think so,
or with nothing?
I think so. Next NXT takeover is War Games.
When's War Games? That's November.
So you'll get November Survivor Series. So you'll get the Undisputed Era again in it, and you'll probably get
Pete Dunne,
Ricochet and War Raiders,
and Pete Dunne,
and then probably maybe Pete Dunne and Moustache Mountain or British Strong Style.
That's the 4.
No, it's 3-on-3 though, isn't it?
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, they changed it up.
I've seen a lot of Instagram posts with Ricochet and the War Raiders like all kind of painting up together. So yeah, Undisputed Era. Pete Dunne, Team UK. If you Moustache Mountain, British Strong Style. I'd be impressed.
So basically, in NXT this week, we had Tommaso Ciampa versus Otis Dozovic.
Quickly,
Heavy Machinery.
And that again, backstage or car park altercation. I don't like you. What you've been doing around here, mate. Let's have it in the ring. Basically, it's what Dozovic was doing. And they went to the ring that night in the main event.
Yeah.
Jesus. Quite
when you
good.
Sit there and you look at this, Otis Dozovic, you're sitting there thinking, this match is just going to be a squash. When they make Ciampa look good.
Yeah, when they debuted, I quite like the look of Heavy Machinery. But I must admit, they've got kind of, I don't know what the word is.
Comedy, hokey.
Stale.
Yeah.
I think if they, even as being baby faces, they can still be a serious tag team and they can still bring it. But for some reason, they've got too jokey. They kind of plants around the ring a little bit too much for the kind of people they are. Almost Brutus Clay kind of style gimmicky, which I don't like for these kind of guys. But he didn't do it in this match.
It was a great match, though. Was it? Like he had a style. He was brutish. He was heavy fisted. He still sort of popped up and put himself about. Ciampa looked like he was really struggling to try and even win the match.
But it makes Ciampa look good because he's beat a bigger guy in the middle of the ring. And it makes Otis Dozovic look great because he pushed the NXT champion to the brink.
And what's his partner's name? Otis Dozovic, and he come out to stop Ciampa from running off one point. But
is it bad that I can't remember his name either?
I can't. Tucker Knight.
Tucker Knight, yes, Tucker Knight. I can see Tucker Knight versus Ciampa next week if they do that.
Yeah, potentially, yeah.
Little TV feud.
Even when Ciampa was pinning Dozovic for the free, you had Tucker Knight there, not interfering.
He was like
he wanted
centimeters,
but he was like, "Come on, kick out!" And it was good to see that there wasn't like a hokey finish or anything like that.
Ciampa wins on DQ.
Yeah, and that's what.
Because look, but
Dozovic. Ciampa got the win. Ciampa looked good. Dozovic looked amazing.
Mm-hmm. And Tucker Knight kept his respect because he was on the ringside of the ramp as well, so he was right there, but he didn't interfere as well.
Yeah. So and before this as well, we got Street Profits versus the Mighty in a good little tag team match as well. Right.
The Street Profits, the way they they love a good dance, they love a good they love a good gimmick, and I love that. The black carp, all of it, it's brilliant. I love it. And I was thinking, I hope they come down and I hope they're serious because they have their gear. Like they nick their jackets, they nick their cup, they nick their bling, and they did just that. Yeah. And they walked straight down and they were like, "Don't like you," bang. And that's what I originally remember. No Way Jose. I didn't like No Way Jose. Yeah. And then he had that match of Austin Aries where he came down and was like, "You're a dick." Bang. I was like, "Oh, he can bring it." Yeah. And like the Street Profits now, I'm like, you
bought into them, and even the Mighty, you think, "Oh wow, they've come up," because they had injury as well.
Yeah,
they've
got to the final of Dusty Rhodes Classics as well.
They look good, and the
rebrand for them was so good.
NXT is brilliant. I've said it for years now, but it's the best hour of wrestling.
And Kairi's saying will defend her newly required women's championship against Shayna Baszler at Evolution. Yeah. In another match, which is actually a feud. Yeah. And it's going to be the third time they've wrestled. Mae Young Classic. Yes, Kairi's 2-up. Yeah. Which is mad. Yeah. Shayna went on such a rampage. Yeah. Does Shayna get that one, or does she go 3-0?
I think Kairi wins. 3-0. Shayna ends up helping Ronda out or something. Because we've still got this potential 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen match.
Or even a face-off.
Yeah. Well, guys, I think we're going to leave it there. I think so. That has been Dirt Sheet Mania Rebrand Episode 2. The Week in Review. The Week in Preview. We will be back with you hopefully next Sunday, if not maybe next Friday, just when we'll do our show. Well, I think because it's Super Showdown on Saturday, we might be doing a little preview show for it. So little preview show. Yeah. Okay, well, we will look forward to doing that. We'll work it out. We will work it out. We always do this last minute. We always do this last minute, and we'll do it live on YouTube as well. Guys, thank you very much. This beautiful bastard has been the director of creativity. Thank you, Kieran. I'm a beautiful bastard. Even my mum says so. She loves me. Hi, Mum. I've been the Chief of Wrestling, Craig Ensign. Thank you so much for joining in and joining us today. Again, go on Twitter, use the hashtag DSM Wrestling, Instagram and Facebook as well. Thank you very much, and we will see you next week. See you later.